Welcome to OFR Racing PlayStation. Welcome to the World Grand Theft Championship. This is the last round. Round 5 out of 5. This is race 1 at Fuji in Japan. Obviously with the 4 GTE that has been used throughout this championship season. This is the layout of the Fuji Grand Prix circuit that is being used today. This is race 9 out of 10, and Diogo Silva is on pole, followed by Darren Head. Delphi Mora and Cavallo are in second row. Third row, Simon Owen and Jumbo. Fourth row, Gonçalo Mota and Scott Davely. Fifth row, it is John Scott and Wayne Robinson. And the sixth row, it is Andrew Dalby and David Emge. We have 12 drivers in this race for the season finale. And of course, we don't have Jorge Jesus, more on that in a moment, but right after the start, we'll give you an update on the championship battle. Look at this side by side there, Darren Head and Diogo Silva. They are the two contenders for this title. I can tell you that. And Diogo Silva gets hit from behind by, I don't know when, a white car. I don't know if it was Delphi Mora or Simon Owen. They're both running number 9, and there's a spin there. A spin, Delphi Mora. Oh, there's multiple cars involved in this. We'll get the replay of what happened here surely, but look at the battle there for the lead of this race. It was Delphi Mora that hit Diogo Silva from behind, as Delphi seems to have lost a bit of time. This is on board from Jumbo in 6th place. Now let's see what's going to happen in turn 1. So far is everything normal as they brake here, as Delphi Mora gives a bit of a bump to Diogo Silva. All sorts of action there happening for David Emge, a bit aggressive there to turn 1. Oh, and this was 3 into 1. 3 into 1 didn't go, and oh, look at this Jumbo, multiple rolls and ends up on his roof. What a start we had here. Let's go on board with David Emge. David almost seems like he jumped the start, but what a start this was. He's already up into the top 8. He is going to go here on the inside of for turn 1. He's almost hitting 4th place man, which I think is Cavallo, and then is going to get into a threesome here with these guys, and Jumbo is the driver that ends up being the most affected, and carnage just behind as everyone tries to go and avoiding action. The yellow car, I believe, is Gonçalo Mota that was in this 3-wide situation with David and also Jumbo. This is on board now from Andrew Dalby in 11th spot as they go and battle through turn 1. Let's see if we can establish a little bit better. Yes, the yellow car is Gonçalo Mota. Scott Davely is in the middle of this. Let's see how things worked out for him as Andrew Dalby goes on the outside there and then gets together, I believe, with some other car there, and then this is all carnage and no place to go. And here Andrew Dalby and that here the Andrew Dalby and this other car, which I believe is who's that? It's Wayne Robinson, I believe. Wayne Robinson, but he doesn't seem very affected because he's it's John Scott. I believe it's John Scott in 6th place, and Wayne Robinson is the green and black car that's currently in 7th place. Now Delphi Mora, after an interesting start, is up into 5th place. Wayne Robinson here, he is in 7th. Now let's give you the update on the championship, because co-leader Jorge Jesus is not in this round, so he has no chance for the championship except if Diogo Silva scores 0 points. They are tied on points, but Jorge has more victories, but Diogo Silva can easily untie that situation just by finishing above 6th and therefore scoring points, adding points to his tally. Now Darren Head is a few points behind. He clearly needs to go for the wins if he is to have any chance of wrapping this championship, as Gonçalo Mota is still with. Oh no, gets hit from behind by Jumbo. To be fair, Gonçalo was now he has lost his rear wing. Fortunately, no damage, only visual damage in OFR Racing PlayStation, and Gonçalo was going rather slowly and just weaving back and forth. So grip is not perfect in this track as well. Scott Davely, he has been delayed by the opening lap incident. Is now trying to come back into this race by overtaking, or attacking at least, Wayne Robinson in 7th place, and it was Wayne Robinson that had this coming together with Andrew Dalby. It wasn't John Scott. I apologize for the mix-up, as a couple of drivers are using very similar liveries. Andrew Dalby continues to be in the top 5 position. He's already lost the position though to Delphi Moura. Delphi up into 4th place. Jumbo and Gonçalo Mota battling very hard indeed, and of course both these drivers were as part of a 3-wide situation on the opening lap that was also involved David Emgen. Now nicely done, a bit of a dummy there by Jumbo, and he's now side by side. He's ahead. He is ahead as Gonçalo Mota magically has recovered his rear wing, and well, some other drivers we have not seen that much. Oh, look at this, Gonçalo is coming back at Jumbo and outbraking himself, but just barely. Oh, and Jumbo recovers the position. This is good racing. Gonçalo's move was a bit of a dive bomb there, but fortunately he did not hit anyone, as there's still quite a lot of racing to go. 13 laps in this race. We are on lap 2. It is not a very short lap here at Fuji. Now, other drivers we have not seen. Kev Allen, we have lost a bit of track. Look at Gonçalo Mota, he's a bit all over the place. There is David Emgen now being overtaken by Kev Allen. We were just talking about Kev, and Kev looked like he was involved in the opening lap carnage as he was in the midfield there. He dropped to last, but now he's recovered already a position, so he's up into 11th place as Gonçalo Mota is the next man in 10th. Jumbo is 9th, Scott Davely 8th, Wayne Robinson 7th, 6th is John Scott, 5th Andrew Dalby, 4th Delphi Moura, and of course the top 3 continue to be Darren Head, Diogo Silva and Simon Allen, as Darren Head needs to go for the win if he is to have any chance whatsoever of wrapping up this championship. We've got 3 contenders, but Jorge Jesus is away. He's not here, so he's going to lose the title. He's the current championship leader. Technically, he's tied on points with Diogo Silva, but he has more victories. But at the moment, Diogo Silva would well, break that tie if the race would end now. Now, Kev Allen continues to recover. He's got good pace, and watch out, because he's got a number of cars ahead of him. The cars are not that far away from each other, as Gonçalo Mota outbreaks himself again at that very tight hairpin, and that's so easy to outbreak yourself there. And Kev Allen is also trying to overtake him, as Gonçalo is still defending this final very twisty section. It's quite a wide track as well, so it's possible to operate multiple lines, although not all the lines are equally effective in terms of the speed. And now Kev Allen is trying to get a good exit from the final twisty corner, and Gonçalo Mota, oh, they crash. I'm not sure who crashed first. We may or may not get the replay here, but Kev Allen is further delayed. I'm not sure if Gonçalo was spinning and Kev hit him, or if it was Kev that hit the back of Gonçalo. It looked more like Kev hit the back of Gonçalo and lost control of his own car, but let's see if we can get the replay or not. And Delphi Moura, as expected, is with very explosive pace, and he has found now Simon Allen. So this is the battle for 3rd place. They still running the same livery, despite the rule that you have to choose different liveries, and I believe this 9 was chosen by Simon Allen, so we definitely need to make sure Delphi Moura in the next championship chooses a different livery from everyone else, as it was a good idea. Oh, Simon Allen spins, there was contact. Simon then left the road, but lost control on his own, so I'm not going to blame Delphi Moura here. It was a genuine move, and Simon Allen could have backed off a little bit and probably would have regained control of his car. So another incident with Simon Allen, and now he has dropped to 5th place, as Diogo Silva is also trying to go back into this race. He has now, for the first time, he has well, the gap is under a second, although it is almost a second. Let's see how this battle for the lead is going to go, as lap 4 out of 13 is being, well, everyone is on the lead lap, so pretty much everyone is on the same lap. Now Scott Davely in 8th place has found the back of Wayne Robinson. Wayne Robinson doing a good race, but Scott Davely seems to have a bit more pace at the moment, so let's see if the American driver can get that 7th place and potentially even challenge for 6th, depending on his pace versus John Scott. We'll keep an eye on that. 5th place man, who is Andrew Dalby, I believe. No, so his 5th place is Simon Allen. after that spin in the last corner. So fourth is Andrew Dalby. So pretty much a lot of battles in the midfield as we complete the first third of this race, season finale. So all to play for at the moment. Diogo Silva would break the tie. Darren had to win the race, and he still would need to win the second race. Now Scott Davely has found a good spot there. This is a very long start-finish line, very good for overtaking purposes, as Scott Davely is perhaps about to find out, as he's going to dive into turn 1 and get that 7th position. He's a little bit too far behind, but it is possible to come from behind and still attack in the first corner, also because people tend to outbreak themselves a little bit, which is not the case this time around with Wayne Robinson. Perfect line there to turn 1, and behind these drivers in 9th spot it's Jambo, and Jambo, ooh, look at this, this is well, Jambo is recovering nicely from being on his roof in lap 1. Sam now is also trying to get back at Andrew Dalby. Andrew Dalby outbreaks himself there. It's a very wide track, so you don't go to the gravel, but he did lose the position somehow and back into 4th place. 5th is Andrew Dalby, and Andrew will need to start thinking about John Scott. This is a very heavy braking point, very difficult to get right. Lap 5 out of 13, we are starting to get towards the midpoint of this race as battles continue through the field right here at Fuji season finale. Of course, something happened. Oh, something happened with Diogo Silva. What was that? Diogo Silva stopped on the track. He stopped on the track. He has disconnected. Yes, he has. Diogo's disaster for the championship co-leader Diogo Silva. This is the last thing that he needed, and now the championship is again wide open because, well, believe it or not, Jorge Jesus is still going to be the championship leader after this race with one race to go, despite not being on it because Diogo Silva is a DNF. So they're both on 293 points, with Jorge still holding to the tiebreaker, and this is side by side here between, I don't know whom, I believe it's Scott Davely and Wayne Robinson, but it is Scott Davely and Wayne Robinson. He's now side by side into the start finish line, and surely this is going to be job done for Scott as he breaks into turn 1, and Wayne Robinson has other ideas, and look at this contact between the two drivers, a bit of pushing and shoving there as Wayne Robinson tries to hold on to what is now 6th place, and they're side by side into the next corner as well as the Scott gives him room. This is a good battle here because everyone pretty much upgraded themselves into one position after Diogo Silva's demise, but this is a disaster, and this is going to bring the championship wide open with Diogo Silva not sure if he's going to connect back to the second race. Jorge Jesus still holds the tiebreaker, and Darren Head is in the lead now, and with a pretty decent gap over Delphi Moura. Darren Head definitely needs to go for the win if he is to maximize his chances. Scott Davely is increasingly impatient and now tried to do a move that didn't make any sense whatsoever, which is on the outside of that very tight hairpin, and they are now having Jambo as well for company. As the championship now is wide open, Darren Head continues to lead from Delphine Moura, and Simon Owen is now into third. Andrew Dalby continues a very good race in 4th place, followed by John Scott completing the top 5, and then it's this group of Wayne Robinson, Scott Davely and Jambo, as Scott Davely tries to be as close as possible to Wayne Robinson, but not very successful doing so. We are at the midpoint of this race already, now side by side there between 3rd and 4th. That's basically Andrew Dalby on the inside of Simon Owen, and this is job done for Andrew Dalby. Andrew Dalby up into a podium position, or is he? Because Simon Owen is having none of it, and there's a better exit from turn 1. This is good racing there. Andrew Dalby outbraked himself just a little bit. He didn't really leave the track that much, but it was enough for Simon Owen to recover the position, and this is pretty good racing. And I'll tell you who is also liking this is John Scott in 5th place, because he's now all of a sudden in the mix for a podium as well. Scott Davely continues to work on Wayne Robinson, and Jambo wants a piece of that action as well. We'll keep an eye on the battle for the lead, because Darren Head is losing some steam there, and here is the visual proof of that. Delphi Mora is the man who only started 2 races this season and finished first and second. He's again in second place, but he wants that lead, and I'm not sure that Darren Head is going to hold on to that lead. He does need a good result if he is to challenge for the championship in the last race. And now completion of lap 7. Darren already going defensive there. Darren already going defensive there, as he is surely seeing Delphi Mora in his mirrors. Another lap is complete. We can still see a lot of people in the same screenshot, but that's also because the start-finish line is extremely long. We could see the driver there going in defensive mode, and that was Andrew Dalby, who is trying to defend from an ever-aggressive Simon Allen, and Simon is going to go into turn 1 here. And look at John Scott. He is, oh, look at this, Andrew Dalby again outbraking himself in the first corner. Look at this, he's going side by side into the second corner. This is good racing. Let's see how it's going to pan out in the second corner. And look at this is the race for the lead now, and Darren Head is incredibly frustrated because behind him there is a driver that has absolutely zero ambition for the championship, but he has 100% ambition to win this race. And Darren probably at this point was expecting to be on his own, just leading the race and cruising to the victory and putting himself in a very good position to challenge for the championship. The answer is no. He's got to contend with Delphi Mora, who is looking for a second win in 3 races and surely is positioning himself as a very strong 2023 contender, as Darren is trying to defend through this final Christie section of the Fuji circuit. Now this is a good exit by Delphi Mora. He's going to go for it. He's not even going to go for the, no, going to wait for the start finish line. Darren Head just shuts the door, but they're going to go side by side into the start finish line. This is absolutely brilliant racing between these 2 drivers, as Darren manages to still be ahead and goes into defensive mode and is weaving a little bit there. Let's see how the one move is going to work here, as Delphi Mora makes his move onto the outside. It's going to be a bit tricky for him to overtake on the outside. Darren Head has the right inside line, and surely Darren Head is going to keep the lead. Yes, he does, but now it's all about momentum coming out of turn 1, and the Delphi Mora has got more momentum, and now, importantly, he also has the inside line for turn 2. They run side by side, but Delphi Mora goes ahead. Delphi Mora is the new leader of this race on lap 9 out of 13. Darren Head will need to up his efforts if he wants to win this race. Second place is still a good result, bearing in mind that Diogo Silva is a DNF and Jorge Jesus is a DNS, so both of them are going to score 0 points, and Darren at the moment scoring 40, and he's got some bad results to discard as well. I think his worst result is an 11th spot if I'm not mistaken. So Darren Head is still in a good position, but those 10 points, extra points for the victory would be very handy indeed. And look at this, this is Andrew Dalby on Simon Allen, and these 2 have been battling extremely hard for the last couple of laps. Now advantage is to Andrew Dalby, as the advantage here in this battle between Scott and Wayne, advantage is still Wayne, and Jumbo also a cautious observer at this point, but they are all running a little bit out of time here, as we are already on lap 10 for the leader surely, and that's basically 3 laps to go, well 4 laps to go, sorry, they just entered lap 10. Now Scott Lively is closer than ever. He can basically see Wayne Robinson's head in the cockpit. He's going on the outside into turn 1, and again it's going to be the same story, as Wayne Robinson is doing a good defensive job. He leaves Scott's space, but he also takes the racing line, and now at the exits, well, basically the only way to overtake here is either you go on the inside of turn 1 or you go the Delphi Mora way, which is outside, and then taking momentum out of the first corner into the second corner. Now Delphi Mora, the new race leader, has outbraked himself big time, and that's not going to be good for his tires. So Darren Head is still not out of this race. No, Darren Head is out of contention. Darren Head spins in turn 2 on his own and tire wear, becoming a huge issue. Lap 10. And well, does Darren lose second place? No, he does not, but he does lose unless Delphi makes a mistake. And now it's Simon Allen in the same place. Simon Allen in the same place manages not to spin, but he is going to be very well, he's under severe pressure from John Scott as Andrew Dalby now has a bit of breathing space in third place. Now Darren has lost quite a lot of time, and this is not going to work for him to basically win this race unless, of course, Delphi Moura makes a mistake in the remaining 2.5 laps. Let's follow other battles as Scott Daly continues to be behind Wayne Robinson. He's been behind Wayne Robinson basically since the beginning of this race. We are now on lap 10 out of 13. First race of the season finale here at Fuji. This will be the last two races with the GTE before the Prototype Championship opens up the 2023 season, followed of course by touring cars, vintage open-wheelers, and a bunch of other interesting ideas as the concept of the single car championship continues to be rolled out in PlayStation, Old Fox Racing, perhaps in PC as well. Scott Davely has now lost momentum. He's lost a couple of seconds, and that's not the right timing to do so, because Wayne Robinson is now has a bit of breathing space himself in 6th spot. John Scott in 5th, very close to Simon Allen, and Simon continues to challenge for a podium, currently occupied by Andrew Dalby. As Simon surely will have just a couple more laps, and look at this corner is becoming quite tricky with increased tire wear. Lap 11 is currently underway, so 2 laps to go at the line. Simon Allen has had a good exit, and surely he can challenge Andrew Dalby. Let's go for that battle. There is on board with Simon Allen. Now, can he outbreak Andrew Dalby into the hairpin? The answer is no, he can't. He can at the exit. That was a good exit there by Simon Allen, but does he have the space to complete the pass? He seems to have the space to complete the pass. A bit of pushing and shoving, but Andrew Dalby incredibly still ahead of Simon Allen. This is an incredible battle for third place, and look at this. John Scott is now waking up to this battle as well. He only has got a couple of laps to make his moves, and now it is the time for people to start making moves. Andrew Dalby slightly wide in the last corner, and look at this. John Scott has had a perfect exit, and now this is going to be a drag race to the line and 2 laps to go, but these guys are all drafting from one another, and let's see who is going to emerge victorious in turn 1. Potential for a 3 wide as the Simon Allen is going to go on the outside, which is what Delphi Moura did very successfully to then head contact between the 2 drivers as Andrew Dalby now outbreaks himself. Can he brake on time? But the answer is no, he cannot, as Simon Allen also outbreaks himself, but now Simon Allen has had a better exit and now a bit of pushing and shoving there, but all within boundaries of good hard racing. Now side by side into turn 2 as Andrew Dalby still ahead as he's got the line, and look at this. Simon Allen now is under pressure from John Scott, but he's trying to come back to the battle for third place. Now what can he do? John Scott still in the mix, but what a battle here, and Andrew Dalby is doing an enormous job to keep Simon Allen behind. Now this is again a good exit by Simon Allen, and he goes side by side again with Andrew Dalby. The last lap is about to start, and now they are going to the very heavy braking point. Simon Allen is just on the wrong side of it though, as he is on the outside. He's going to try to do the same as he did in the previous lap, as didn't quite work. And look at Wayne Robinson, he's coming back to join this battle as well, as is Scott Davely. So 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th are all very close together. The last lap would be complete. The leader Delphi Moura is already on the last lap, and now Simon Allen has had a good exit there from the penultimate corner. Can he do anything into the last corner, or alternatively again into the start finish line? Now this is the last opportunity to do this, as they go through the start finish line, and John Scott has lost momentum. He's a few car lengths back, so he's not going to be part of this battle into turn 1, but he may be the beneficiary of any tangling between Simon Allen and Andrew Dalby. exact carbon copy as of the previous lap, as Andrew Dalby goes on the inside and he's now going to try to break on time as is Simon Allen. Now Simon Allen is going to go on the outside and try to get on the inside of turn 2. Yes, that's the way to do it, Simon. That is the way to do it, and I think Simon Allen is going to do it. Yes, he's ahead, and Andrew Dalby will need to give him room, or do they know? Whoa, what happened as they both ran off the track? Andrew Dalby miraculously still ahead, but Simon Allen now has the very wide line, but surely he's going to go on the inside, and Simon Allen has done it. No, Andrew Dalby is going to try to recover. No, didn't quite work, but what a brilliant piece of racing. And now John Scott is in the mix as well for 4th place. Andrew Dalby has possibly tire wear problems in these last few corners of the race, as Delphi Mora is going to go for it. It's another victory. He has a very strong track record of 3 starts, 3 podiums, 2 wins, and if he does race full time in 2023, I'm not sure who is in the position to stop this man. Delphi Mora wins the first race of the season finale here at Fuji. 2nd place is going to be Darren Head, and he's going to be slightly disappointed with that, but still puts him in a pretty good position to challenge for the championship in the last race. 3rd place man is going to be Simon Allen, and he had to work hard for it. 4th, Andrew Dalby. 5th is going to be John Scott. 6th is going to be Wayne Robinson. 7th is going to be Scott Davely. 8th is going to be Jumbo. Oh, look at this, Scott Davely, very close, but not quite close to Wayne Robinson. 8th is going to be Jumbo. 9th is going to be Kev Allen after a disappointing race after that opening lap incident. 10th is going to be Gonçalo Mota, completing the top 10, and 11th is going to be David Emge with Diogo Silva at DNF from this race, which is a bit of a disappointment. But now I don't even want to look at the points table, because basically it's a 3-way for the championship. The bad news for Jorge Jus is that he's not going to be in the race, but still, if Diogo Silva disconnects again or is not able to join and Darren Head doesn't score enough points, he's going to be the champion even without participating in these rounds. So let's see how it's going to pan out. For the time being, Delphi Mora, Darren Head and Simon Allen are your top 3. Thank you very much for watching, and don't miss the season finale. It's going to be worth it. Thank you and bye bye.